Hello, welcome to Bjorn Tarot. Today we're just going to be asking, what do you need to hear today? See if the messages are helpful and make sense to you. Always make sure to take the messages also with a grain of salt and make decisions based off your own intuition and knowledge of situations. But hopefully this reading can bring you different perspectives or confirm kind of what you're already feeling or thinking. So if you want to pause the video, really tune into each of the three groups to see which one your intuition is led to. I'll let you go ahead and do that now. Hello, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this group, you chose this sheep. And you also chose the art card, which would be Temperance. We have this cat card, which says, I choose to find humor and joy in every situation. And we have, just because they put a square on your head doesn't mean you're not still in school. So this could just talk about, you know, how even if you feel like you've met a lot of milestones when it comes to learning or following the right path, that there's still always more to learn. Let me just scoot this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, and we'll be using the Mystic Medleys Tarot for your reading today. So far with the art card or Temperance and, you know, the school card, like just because they put a square on your head, it doesn't mean you're not still in school, meaning life's a long journey of learning, and I choose to find humor and joy in every situation. I think it's asking you to really take a step back, try to find balance, within your mind and body. You might be kind of like trying to fill some kind of gap that you feel like is missing, maybe in the material world when it comes to job, career, or even just like where you feel like you should be at in life and you're not yet, or that's not where the path led you, or maybe you went off path, but the art card or this Temperance card is about moderation. So I think it's kind of saying to try to not take things too seriously. You know, if you're trying to make changes in your life, do it in moderation. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And just know that throughout this journey, like even if you have lots of skills or education or even just life experience, there's always more to learn. So don't try to push things too fast. Make sure you're, even when you're making changes in your life, that you're doing it in moderation so you can stay mentally, emotionally, and physically and spiritually balanced. But let's see what messages, if that makes sense and resonates with you. We'll see what comes out for your tarot. What does group number 1 need to hear today, please? Clear guided messages for group number 1. I'm going to give it another shuffle. Group 1. Tapping into group 1. If we get into any specifics, like it might just be for a few people, so, you know, take or leave whatever feels right to you in this reading. Group 1, what do they need to hear? We have Sad Squirrel coming out first. This is not actually a tarot card, it's just an extra card that came in this deck, but we'll take it. So you might just be feeling some dissatisfaction, or you know, not feeling happy about the circumstances in your life right now. Group 1, what do they need to hear? What's going on? What do they need to hear? We have the Two of Wands. This is when we need to make a new blueprint, and we're kind of like in between worlds where we're holding up to see what opportunities lay ahead of us on what we can create, and we're kind of like in an in-between place of like having the idea but maybe just having it begin to actually start taking off. And it's also about making decisions and kind of going over different ideas of what you think might work for you or help you in your life. Like the wands are the element of fire, and it represents action taking, passion, creation, creativity. So I feel like you are trying, you're kind of like in this process of trying to adjust your plans. You know you need to make a change. I think it set you out into a panic a little bit, where you're trying to like hurry and fix everything at once, and you're like, I should have figured this out. Like I'm already have all this knowledge in my life, and it's just reminding you that this is a process that's going to take some patience, and everything's not going to change overnight. And if there's some bad luck you've come across, I think it's just this card's just reminding you to try to like take it easy and not let it take you over type of thing, and try to find the humor, try to laugh so you don't get too caught up in that stress. Because I think the more stress you're in and the more dissatisfaction, the harder it is, and just the more difficult it's going to be to get this new plan rolling, or adjustments you need to make in your life. What else for group 1? We have the Knight of Swords. This is single-mindedness. This is when you are taking off and you have a lot of will to seek the truth. The Knight of Swords is also very daring, ambitious, and they really like are set on one thing. So this could just talk about how you're very focused on like addressing the problems, because I think it's just sort of added up to where you have to make the change. That's what's really coming through in this reading. And I think what's keeping you from totally coming to this clarity and reaching the place you want to reach with this Knight of Swords, I think what's slowing you down is actually not being balanced enough with your energy, with how much time you're putting into trying to panic and figure things out. You're just like, I'm sad, I'm taking care of this. He's like holding a club. He doesn't want to be stuck in this, which is a good thing that you're taking action. But I think it's saying that for you to actually align with the right place, right time, and opportunities, like you have to replenish, you have to balance yourself, you have to rest, and you also just kind of have to let things fall into place as they may. That's even outside of our control, and kind of meet life halfway like that. With the Eight of Cups, this just shows somebody who is moving on. You may have invested a lot into something emotionally, or like put your heart into even a project or a career, or it could be love too. But this is when we are walking away from something that we have invested a lot in, and we highly valued, but we know that it's kind of reached a plateau, it's kind of reached a point where it's not growing, it's not giving what it needs to, and it's time to walk in the dark into the mountains, to something better and more fulfilling. Let's see, group 1. And then we have the Four of Cups in reverse. I think you're I think maybe part of the reason why you feel so pressured and rushed to like figure things out immediately without taking a breath or a rest is because maybe you did take a big rest, which was needed, but I feel like you might be being really hard on yourself, or you kind of just may have been stuck on all the things that didn't work out, and in turn you may have missed some opportunities in that apathy. And now I think you're coming out of that. Like, you have new ambitions, you're accepting the problems, you're addressing them, you have more clarity. So you are trying to fix these problems. But again, it's just about balance. Like, I feel like it's like a two extremes type of thing where you took a long rest or break, which may have been necessary, but now you're trying to overcompensate by going to the other extreme by doing too much and exhausting yourself. Group 1. We have the High Priestess. I'm just going to take the, I'm not feeling these. I'm going to take the High Priestess. So this is about our intuition, about the unknown, the divine feminine, spirituality, and the things that we cannot see that are protected behind the veil of the High Priestess. So I feel like you are starting to follow your intuition more, but it's really about getting the emotions balanced so that you can trust your intuition. Because I think if you're in this place of stress and movement and action and imbalance in that way, you're kind of putting yourself further away from that water element, that intuition side of us. That also is a factor in decision making. So yeah, the whole theme of this reading is balance and trying to find the happy gray area between the two extremes. So let's see, I'm gonna use this deck so we can look in to see like things to consider to help you balance, and we'll just see what comes out. Group 1. What does Group 1 need to do to balance things out, please? Clear guided messages for Group 1. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is kind of about like resisting change, kind of wrong place, wrong time. It can talk about delays and a disruption in the plan or what we thought was going to play out. And that kind of leaves people feeling fearless, powerless, and stuck, where this wheel is no longer moving. We're not entering a new cycle or exiting one, and I think that's kind of where you're coming out of with this Four of Cups in reverse, where you're trying to turn this Wheel of Fortune upright so that you can resume with life and get things moving again, and get aligned with life, and so you can have more good luck and opportunities and movement and you know, new chapters. Group 1, how can they, we have the Emperor in the upright, so I think this talks about you just kind of getting clear and sincere with yourself about ways that you can bring in more structure, more balance, and steadier foundations. And just like being a leader, like I think you were kind of just maybe stuck in a freeze state for a while, or you know, different things, and might just have a lot of internalized shame or guilt about that. But I think you are trying to turn this wheel around and bring more security in the earth element, everyday life, practical realm. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So this talks about being a workaholic, where you putting so much energy and work, it makes you feel secure, but you're kind of almost like running around like with a chicken with its head cut off to some degree, like where it's actually false security. And I think because of the losses that resulted from this period of rest, stagnation, or just bad luck, like I said before, I think there's an element of overcompensating to try to make up for what was lost. But in doing so, you lose that security because it's not balanced, and it's still keeping you from fully moving things into the next chapter, even though you're, putting a lot of energy and effort in. And this should only apply if like you're doing this and it's not resulting in anything, or if you just feel exhausted that you can't function as a result. How can group 1 find balance? We have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups has a very lighthearted energy to me. It's a young energy, as are all pages, and this specific page is kind of naive. They're sensitive, they're playful, they can be like flirtatious in a romantic sense, but in this way, I think it's kind of just going back to this silly cat card, where it's like, try to find joy and humor, look for fun surprises that can kind of take you out of the stress and seriousness of trying to find this this balance and this stability, regain stability. Let's see what else. Let me shuffle. Yeah, it's just you being open to new surprises, and and not in a way where you feel like caught off guard or like anxious. It's like you are being open to it, and even if you have these emotions in the background that might throw you off a little. Group 1, how can they find balance? We have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So the Pentacles are the earth element, and the King of Pentacles is all about success, leadership. He's very abundant, he's very prosperous, determined, and he shares his wealth with all of those around him. But in the reverse, it talks about maybe a little bit of materialistic vibes and instability, or sometimes even corruption, where in the realm of career or finances. But take that only if it resonates to you. But yeah, I just feel like in this context it's talking more about the instability and the need to see your ability to have like, I feel like you can't really picture yourself as this King of Pentacles in upright, because kind of being down on yourself if things have not gone right in a while, and so it's hard for you to even picture yourself having that success, which is why you're working so hard to get it. But I think I think you're gonna get that. I think you can achieve that by trying to embody this Emperor energy, which is kind of similar to the King of Pentacles. We also have the Ten of Swords. So I think this is about you acknowledging, recognizing the hardships that you've gone through, and letting yourself breathe through that. This is about pain, sadness, and feeling like you are, have all these swords in your back, and those swords stand for different hardships or things that brought you down, and that's probably why you did take a break from life maybe. But overall, I'm seeing like you are going to be able to turn this wheel right side up. It's all about balance. You know, make sure you're figuring out ways to balance your time in your day where you can allow yourself to rest without feeling guilty because of you feeling like you have to like put all your energy into regaining this stability and success in your life, and not being too hard on yourself. Just like this card here, it's like you're always going to be learning in life, and even if you went through a bumpy part in your life, you can regain stability and you can take those lessons and wisdoms with you. But make sure you're taking care of your body, you know, practicing things that can help with stress reduction while you're maybe working on overdrive to correct what was lost, and just having faith that things will work out. You know, you're working hard. This is asking you to remember to rest and to remember to not take life too serious. I mean, that's easier said than done when we have real life stress in our life. I'm going to pull you an affirmation card to wrap up this reading. I believe in you. I hope this was helpful. I think you're so close to having things figured out if this did resonate. And yeah, the message here is take some time in your day to rest and don't feel guilty about it or you're not resting. Group 1. I am transformed. Number 22. 22s are about building as well and unity. I see the beauty of change. Everything I've been through transformed me into who I am today. I am so much braver. I am so much more caring. I am so much more emotionally intelligent, and I am so much more open. I will continue changing and improving. I am transformed. What a great card for this reading. So see the beauty of change, see the beauty of all you've went through. You're transforming, you're turning this wheel of fortune upside down with your determined willpower, and yeah, you're gonna find that right balance and everything's gonna fall into place. Wishing you the best of luck. I also wanted to mention with this sheep that I think this represents that your path may not look like everyone else's, but it is your path, and it's beautiful just as it is, so don't be too hard on yourself. Thanks, Group 1. If you found this helpful, I would really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, comment, share, anything to engage to help YouTube know that this video was helpful. So thank you guys so much. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and again, I do think you're gonna figure it all out very soon. Definitely. Okay. Group 2. Okay, Group 2. Welcome, Group 2, to your reading. Again, today we're going to be asking, what do we need to hear today? Let's see if this message resonates with you. We'll get started. So first we have this little clown face. I don't know if you can see it. It's a cute little clown face, the little smile. And for your first cards, we have the Cups. Hope this would be the Ace of Cups. We have Take a Breath and Realize Just How Cool You Really Are. Love that card. And then we have I used to live in fear, so I know the area well. And then it says, yep, hasn't changed much. Interesting. Okay, let's see what comes out for you today, group 2. So with the Ace of Cups, the Aces are a great card to have in your reading. They're about new beginnings, and something being offered to you that you didn't expect. Cups are the element of water, which represents our emotions, feelings, our intuition. So there's something being offered to you, or some new beginning in the realm of feelings, emotions. Could be relationships too. We'll see what comes out in the cards. But yeah, I think there's something new going on where it may have brought up some triggers or something like that, where you're having some old fears resurface that maybe you haven't felt in a while. I don't know if there's like a new relationship, or if you're just having, you're trying to bring in some new beginning in the emotional feelings realm in your life, and so you're working through old fears and triggers that maybe you thought you had healed through, but yeah, and so it's just like a message to remind you that you know the area well, you know what to do, you know how to handle it. And it says right here, take a breath and realize just how cool you really are. So I think it's like, take a breath, cool, calm, collected, you're okay, you're safe type of thing. Let's see what comes out. Group 2, please. What does group 2 need to hear today? We have the 5 of Swords in reverse. This in the upright talks about loss, conflict, indecision, or someone kind of taking and leaving everyone else cold, where they didn't really gain anything from what they took or the harm they caused, and they ended up pushing everyone away from them. So maybe something from the past. Someone took something without considering the feelings of others and pushed everybody away. We have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. In the upright, this talks about a new beginning in the realm, the air element, which is communication, logic, thought, reason. And in the upright, it talks about a strike of clarity, new inspiration to learn new knowledge or ideas, or it might be like communication, where you have a breakthrough of communication with someone, or even yourself, really. But in the reverse, it's more about delays and like verbal blocks where you feel like you can't speak your truth, or it can talk about miscommunication too. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like this is more interpersonal or love type reading. So, but I'm feeling like something of the past. Somebody took something and they thought they'd get away with it, and they alienated everyone from them, and they also they didn't win anything by doing this. Like, they thought they would gain something, and I think there was some sort of miscommunication, or maybe somebody didn't speak their truth when they felt they needed to on this situation. Group 1, what do they need to hear? Group 1, or sorry, Group 2. Sorry, guys. Group 2, what does Group 2 need to hear? We have the 7 of Cups. This is about, it can talk about illusions, or just looking at all the options that stand in front of you. You're trying to make a decision on what to choose and the possibilities, but you're afraid maybe that it may be an illusion that we see here in this cup. There's a snake, and down here there's treasure. So you're trying to decipher and choose what's the best thing for me. what is the truth and what is illusion. And I think something new has come into your life where, because of this in the past, you're wondering, what is the truth? Can I trust my intuition? What is illusion? I feel like you do want to welcome in this new prospect for something emotional, newness or fulfillment, but yeah, you're really trying to be careful on what you choose here, because maybe in the past you missed some details that led to this situation here. Group 2, please. Yeah, I think you're already have done a lot of work emotionally. Like I said with this card, it's like you still live in fear, and you know the area well. It hasn't changed much. So I think you already have done a lot of work to heal from this thing in the past. And you're kind of just doing the best you can to navigate through a new situation. You're trying to allow for space in your heart for growth, for creativity, and you've put in the work. You've let your ships set sail, and you've taken the actions, and you're seeing where this is going to lead. You're not sure where it's going to lead, but you're keeping your eye out to see what comes back, or if it leads to success and expansion. Group 2, please. We have the Lover, so this also talks about choices and choosing the right path, or it can also just talk about actual lovers, love, relationships, choices, harmony, cooperation. So I think, I think if this reading is for you, you definitely have some sort of new love interest or crush. It doesn't have to be that serious, but I do think it's brought up some feelings, or, you're just kind of thinking, even if you talked to people before, you kind of might be thinking extra hard about this if it has caught you by surprise and you have some triggers come up, even if everything seems positive where it's at now with this person, if this is indeed like a love reading for you. But yeah, I think you want to make sure the communication is really good and clear. Like, you don't want to repeat of what happened before, so you're trying to keep clear communication. You're trying to make sure you're going down the right path and choosing the right emotional cup here, and trying to work through the fear that you're familiar with, but you have to keep yourself grounded throughout that as well. Take a breath and stay cool, calm, collected, so you can see things the clearest. Group 2. What does group 2 need here? We have the King of Wands in the reverse. In the upright, the King of Wands is very that fire energy, passion, action, leadership. But in the reverse, it can kind of talk about like someone who's not really trustworthy. They're kind of impulsive. They're not a great leader. They can be corrupt. So I think you're just are having that fear of not being able to take action, or feeling that you're not seeing someone in the light that they like you're not seeing their true colors or something like that. It can also I'm just looking at the spread to see if I see anything else. But yeah, overall, I think there's something or someone new that's come into your life, or you're starting to consider. Maybe like dating, or opening up your heart space in some way. It's brought up some anxious feelings, triggers, or just memories of the past. You're trying to keep yourself grounded. You've done a lot of work emotionally to heal and process this, and now it's just a matter of following your intuition to make the right choice, that you don't choose someone who you can't trust, who's reckless and kind of hot-headed also. I don't know why that just came through, but yeah, I do see like positive things for you. Like there's a possibility for something new romantically possibly coming in your life, but yeah, I think you're just figuring out how to trust your judgment after being in a situation you never maybe thought you'd find yourself in before. Didn't expect this to really be a love reading, but if this makes sense to you, it does. If it doesn't, you know, not your reading probably. But let's see. Let's ask now, what can group 2 do to navigate through this and trust their inner guidance, trust their inner wisdom, and work through any fear? And by the way, this doesn't have to be a love reading, but, you know, if it makes sense, it makes sense. Okay, group 2. We have the Lovers coming up again. So I think this is you just balancing out your own inner masculine, feminine sides, like, kind of like that Gemini energy, to make the right choice, to follow down the right path. It's saying you can trust yourself to follow the right path. And I love how you got the Lovers twice here. Group 2, we have the World. This is about fulfillment. It's about things coming full circle and a sense of wholeness. It is the last card in the Major Arcana, and it's about, you know, feeling complete, feeling accomplished, feeling whole, like I said. So I think it's just reminding you, like, you can trust your sense of judgment. You can sense, you can trust your sense of direction emotionally, and that you are whole even if you've been through a lot. I'm also getting you're worthy even if you've been through a lot and maybe your confidence is a bit low. We have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. In the upright, you know, the Pentacles are the element of Earth, which is worldly matters, career, finances, stuff in our everyday lives type of thing. And in the upright, it's about cooperation, teamwork, getting advice from someone who's more skilled and can kind of go over your blueprints and maybe give you a few pointers, you know. But in the reverse, it's about being uncooperative and kind of just, you know, staying in your own lane. Maybe your ego gets a little activated where you don't want to ask for help, or you don't want to work with people because you're like, well, if I just stay with myself, I can't get hurt. But I think it's saying, you know, you need to be open, you need to be expansive with this, like this Three of Wands. Don't close yourself off to collaborating, to connecting with others, and even it's okay to get a second opinion if you're having trouble deciphering what choices are good or not. I understand you want to make sure you talk to someone you trust who's not going to be judgmental and just tell you what to do, but can maybe help guide you, or can help offer different perspectives. We also have the Page of Wands in the reverse. So Page of Wands in the upright, the pages are a young, inexperienced energy, and the wands are the element of fire, which is passion, creativity, and drive. And this page is eager to explore, to be adventurous. But when it's in the reverse, it can kind of talk about delays or just kind of like marching to the beat of your own drum because of disappointment, not because, you know, you're just are who you are. I feel like the root of why you're marching to the beat of your own drum is to protect your heart. Actually meant to put this here. But yeah, I think it's asking you to kind of be more open. So you don't close yourself off. Like, there's a fine line between independence and just closing yourself off entirely. I mean, if you want something, you know. Sorry about the siren. What else? What else for group 2, please? Group 2. How can group 2... King of Swords in the reverse. So the King of Swords in the upright is very logical, is very stoic, has a lot of integrity and thinks with his mind, and is very dependable and trustworthy. In the reverse, it can talk about someone who's a bit judgmental or arrogant, and so I think you might be worried about encountering this type of energy again, because I feel like that person didn't treat you right, didn't treat you fairly, and maybe even told you mean things that weren't true, that made you feel not whole. And it's saying to remember you are whole. With the Page of Wands right under the Lovers too, it's like this is a reminder that you can trust your choice, you can trust your path, whatever you choose to do, and be open to what you can't see coming. Because once you're experiencing this, you have the wisdom, you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to be able to point out the red flags, and sometimes we can't fully predict that until we get to know someone fully. Like, we can get a basic idea most times, especially if we're experienced in dating, but it does take time to truly get to know someone, and it does take an element of vulnerability and risk and calculated risk, and I think that is what you're trying to do. This could even be with a friend, any kind of, or just you getting ready to try to date if you are interested in someone. What else? How can they group 2? How can they trust themselves? We have the Tower, so trust that you're going to be able to point things out before, like, if you're going to be able to build strong foundations immediately, and you're going to be able to also point out those red flags or observe them or notice them right away, where you're going to be like, this is not stable, I'm avoiding the Tower happening again like it did in the past. So I think it's also saying that you have to kind of continue processing, and part of healing is by allowing new experiences into our lives. Of course, only take this as it makes sense to you. Make decisions based on your gut instinct. But yeah, I think it's saying you will be able to avoid disaster as long as you can open up a little bit and trust yourself, and kind of like shed some of those internalized insecurities or doubts you have that are not yours, but maybe someone else placed upon you, that it's been hard to shed that, maybe for some of you. But yeah, I think it's also saying like you not opening up and expanding, like not even in a romantic way, but just like with community, with friends, like your isolation can lead to a tower moment, which is destruction and things crumbling because it wasn't built on stable foundations. But I think it's kind of saying like you are turning things around, but yeah, make sure you're doing it in a balanced way. Make sure you're, keeping a healthy level of caution, but also a healthy level of vulnerability. And you kind of just have to like test that out as you go, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, I think it's saying you can trust yourself. You can figure out the right path to go, but you have to be open to putting yourself out there. You have to be open to knowing that when you do put yourself out there, there is a chance you'll encounter someone not great again, but the good news is you're gonna know when to throw the towel in, or when you see red flags, you're gonna take that wisdom and use it, and you can trust yourself. Let's see, what else to wrap up group 2's reading? What does group 2 need to hear? I am worry-free. I release worry over things I cannot control. Instead, I choose to focus on things that are pleasing to me. When I release worry, I allow room for solutions to enter my life. I am worry-free. So yeah, I think it's saying like, take a breath, realize how cool you are, realize you are whole as a person. Being worry-free is easier said than done. It takes practice, and it takes using tools and skills. We also have 2 + 5, that's 7, and that's about luck and insight and contemplation and getting connected spiritually, whatever that means to you. But I think you can trust yourself, and when you do, you might have some fears come up, but take a breath, realize you're cool, let these new experiences come into your life, and trust that you can be able to tell when it's good and when it's bad. But yes, thank you, group 2. I hope this was helpful. If it was, if you wouldn't mind giving it a like, a share, subscribing, I'd really appreciate it, because it just helps my channel a lot and lets YouTube know that the videos are well received, and that inspires me to make more videos. So yeah, thank you, group 2. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I know that you'll be able to make the right decision. Hello, group 3. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose this little bead, which is like, it kind of looks like clouds in the sky. So that can kind of talk about maybe some clouds in the mental realm, in communication, in our thoughts, in our mind. There might be some cloudiness there, some fog. So you got the Hermit for your first card. The Hermit talks about when we need to go into solitude with ourselves, so we can get away from the noise and kind of get in touch with ourselves and come to new enlightenments, and understand the things that need to be illuminated so we can grow and gain knowledge and wisdom. You also got I'll be at the other end of the universe acting strange. I love this card. I feel like I can relate to this card, and it honestly goes with the Hermit. It's like, I need to go off and be myself and be weird and figure things out. I need to go within myself. And then you have, for your Cat card, you can do anything you set your mind to. So you may be kind of wanting to go into the solitude or hermit mode, so you can work through whatever things are blocking you maybe from reaching goals. But let's see what comes out. This is for group 3. Group 3. What does group 3 need to hear? Always take the messages with a grain of salt, guys. If there's anything too specific and it doesn't fit, like maybe it's just for someone else. But let's see what comes through. What does group 3 need to hear? Clear guided messages. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So the Ace of Cups in the upright would be a new beginning or a new offering in the realm of love, emotions. It can talk about joy, new love, creation. But in the reverse, it kind of talks about being lost emotionally or having an emotional loss. It can talk about being uninspired emotionally and even depression. So yeah, it feels like there's been some sort of loss that has caused you to want to go deep within yourself. Group 3, what do they need to hear? We have the 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords is basically when you are up all night, you can't sleep, you're worried, your wheels are turning, and you're suffering from looping thoughts. The swords are the element of air, which are our thoughts, communication, logic, and reason. So I think, yeah, just whatever this loss was, it has you up worried and it's taking up a lot of mental space. Group 3, what do they need to hear? We have the Knight of Staffs, so that's the Knight of Wands. The Wands is the element of fire, which is about action, creation, and passion. And this Knight is in motion. He's courageous, he is driven, adventurous, and going for what it is he wants. Very determined, very passion-driven. We have the 5 of Staffs, that's the 5 of Wands. That talks about disagreements, kind of like petty arguing or competition. So I feel like this ending may have been a result of like a lot of arguing that built up. This could be with a friend, family, lover. I have a feeling it might be more about a lover, but it could be in a number of different interpersonal scenarios. But yeah, I think you went through a lot of that just added up and really caused a lot of stress on your chest, a lot of worry, and you're just like, I have to move on. I'm driven to heal and figure this out, which is why you feel like you need to go off and be alone and contemplate and meditate and be weird so you can like process. You got the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups, he's very fast moving as well as the Knight of Wands. So these are the fastest moving knights. The Knight of Cups is more about emotional offerings, or it can be in the realm of love too. It's about communication and it's fast moving. I don't know, for some of you who this is about the ending or loss of a love or connection romantically, I think it's talking about how someone may have come in really fast with a lot of love and romance, and it seemed like it was going to be really long term, but then they kind of fizzled out and they didn't sustain that kind of energy, where it's almost like they came in as fast as they came in, they also left, which was maybe shocking for some of you. I also am feeling for others of you that you tried really hard to make this work despite the petty conflict. There may have been even some competition in the realm of love. But yeah, I think you really tried to offer yourself up to something or someone and it didn't pan out, and you're like, I'm moving on now. Like, I have lost this, I'm moving on, I'm sick of worrying about this. I need to, like, I have to go, I keep saying, I have to go back inside myself so I can process and come to understanding. What else for group 3? That was too many. I'm going to give it one more shuffle. Group 3. What is group 3? That was too many, but we have the 5 of Cups. I'm just going to say at the bottom of the deck, the 5 of Cups is about emotional loss as well, but it reminds you that although 3 of the Cups have spilled, 2 still stand, so not all is lost. That's a message coming through. Group 3, what do they need to hear? We have Temperance, so this card is about moderation, balancing emotions, balancing our physical bodies, our spiritual bodies, and finding that happy moderation, so that we can let a new beginning come in. It's also about relying on the universe to kind of, we don't have control over everything, so we have to sometimes just allow the universe to, like, meet us halfway. Like, we put in the work and the rest is kind of up in Destiny's hands, you know? So overall, yeah, I feel like you guys had an emotional loss. You need to go into solitude, process, work through some stuff, cry, like make art, or yeah, but there's a determination here of, like, you guys are not going to be staying in this feeling of loss and hurt forever. Like, you are determined with that fire energy to find balance again and find peace again, and I think that's great. Group 3. How can group 3, where does group 3 go from here? Where does group 3 go from here? We have the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting, because in one of the other groups, this was the first card for this layer, but it was in the reverse. But this is in the upright. So this is about transitions, changes, the wheel of time, one chapter ending, a new beginning, and that bringing fortune. And you are putting in the work to make this happen. Like, things are going to change, you know, with or without us, because that's the nature of the world and the way things work. But it's showing that you are going along with the changes. You don't want to be in this 9 of Swords place of dwelling and worry and insomnia. You're ready to find the balance, the healing, and you're ready to go into the depths to transmute that into wisdom and understanding, self-understanding. Where does group 3 go from here? We have the 6 of Pentacles. This is about balance in the earthly realm. The Pentacles are the element of earth, which is, you know, our finances, our career, our day-to-day lives. So I think you're trying to find balance in that way. If you're struggling right now, it's saying don't be afraid to accept help from others. So yeah, and then you have the 5 of Pentacles coming out in the reverse, which kind of stands for poverty, being left out in the dark, in the snow, and regrets from the losses and from the difficulties. So yeah, this is, I feel like if you're struggling financially right now and that's just like adding to the stress that you already have, it's saying please don't be afraid to accept help from others. Like, humans are not meant to be individualistic. We're community beings, and it's okay when you're going through hardship to accept help and kindness from others. And then you got the Three of Pentacles in the upright, and another group had this in the reverse. So this is about you being open to collaboration, bringing your ideas to others to share with them, someone who's more skilled, and kind of like as you're trying to figure out a new game plan after you come out of this hermit mode, or maybe that's part of what you're needing to figure out and process. Maybe like to fill in the gaps of like where you don't have understanding, you can go to someone who has a lot of experience in this area, and they can offer you some creative ideas and a sense of community and teamwork. That's coming through big with where to go from here, is like going with the changes, which will bring fortune and opportunity to you, but you're gonna have that happen by kind of letting your guard down a little bit, letting your ego and pride down a little bit, accepting help, and being open to the advice of others who you trust. And then we also have the Page of Pentacles. So the pages are a young energy. Look at all these pentacles, like that's kind of crazy. Maybe some of you are earth signs watching, don't have to be, but very earth centered insights here, or things to consider. So the Page of Pentacles sees opportunity in his hand. He sees what can grow from a single seed, and they are very ambitious about that. They're very confident despite not having a lot to work with. So I feel like it's saying, like, even if you start to regain stability, which is going to help you through all the other emotional stuff and just mental roller coaster, yeah, like you're gonna have the ability with what you do have to work with to create something big from that small thing. But your perception and your framing and your attitude is going to be depending on whether that pans out or happens. Like, you have to have a good attitude and an element of optimism. What else for group 3? Group 3. You got the World. You guys might want to check out some of the other groups, because I'm seeing some overlap here with some of the cards. But you got the World. This is about fulfillment, wholeness, accomplishment. It's the last card in the major arcana. It's also the last card in your reading. So I think this is saying that you are going to feel whole again. Good luck's on your side. You're on the right track by knowing that you need to go within yourself and kind of have some alone time to process through the hurt, the anxiety, and all the things that are making you feel ungrounded. And the advice is, or the things to consider, where to go from here, is to lean into the things that make you feel uncomfortable in order to regain stability, so that you have something to work with. Because you getting to this Page of Pentacles is going to be a turning point that's going to lead to your fulfillment and feeling of wholeness and like having control back in your life to some degree. And then don't forget this card, like, you can do anything you set your mind to. So things might seem really difficult right now, but you'd be surprised how fast and how things can change so beautifully for the better for you. And I think you doing the brave thing and going into the hermit mode and being like, no, I need to be at the other end of the universe doing what I need to do to get through this. It is the right thing to do. Just don't stay there for too long. Make sure you know when to come out of it and when you need to go to others to ask for their people you trust for their insights to fill in any gaps and understanding or that can help you have better understanding, I guess. We're gonna get you an affirmation card to wrap up your reading, group 3. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a like, a share, subscribe, anything to let the algorithm know that I should still keep making videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. What does group 3 need to hear? This one? I am transformed. Okay, you guys need to check out the other groups because I did shuffle these well. And this is the one that I wanted to choose, but someone else got this as well. So I think maybe, maybe there's multiple messages for this specific video for you guys within the different groups. But it says, I see the beauty of change. Everything I have been through transformed me into what I am today. I am so much more braver, I am so much more caring, and I'm so much more emotionally intelligent. I am so much more open. I will continue changing and improving. I am transformed. The number 22 is a master number in numerology, and it's about taking a leadership role and building with others to create something strong and in the material realm. But that's what I see for you, group 3. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I believe in you. I think it's all going to come together. Just keep pushing and let yourself walk through the fire and come out the other side whole. But yes, thank you guys so much.